The Voice of a Father by Grayson Sterling. Chapter 2. Focusing the Mind. I'm going to tell you something you might not yet realize. If you have, then you know how significant it is. Thoughts cannot be dismissed. They can only be replaced. It appears that the human mind is capable of retaining only one thought in conscious awareness at a time. That is why you cannot feel appreciation and anger at the same time. That is why you cannot feel gratitude and anxiety at the same time. You can only feel one or the other. If I tell you not to picture an elephant, what do you see in your mind's eye? An elephant. Now, if I tell you to picture a soft, glowing candle, its flame dancing gently, you can picture it in your mind's eye. But did you notice that the elephant is gone? Because thoughts can only be replaced. I will relate to you some experiments that were done by psychological researchers, and afterward, I will explain why I am drawing these to your attention. In 1999, a pair of researchers in the Department of Psychology at Harvard University conducted a fascinating experiment regarding attention and perception. You can even find this video on the internet. Participants in the experiment watched a 75-second video of two teams passing basketballs to each other. One team was wearing white shirts, and the other team was wearing black shirts. The participants in the experiment were instructed to count the number of times the players wearing white shirts passed the basketball to each other. Not terribly complicated, but requiring focused attention. About 30 seconds into the 75-second video, a person dressed in a black gorilla suit walked into the scene from the right. The gorilla stopped in the center of everyone passing the basketballs, faced the camera, beat his chest, and then exited, walking off-screen to the left after about 9 seconds. After watching the video, the participants were asked how many times the team with white shirts passed the ball. Almost everyone got the right answer. The number was 15 times. But remarkably, 46% of the participants, or nearly half, did not notice the gorilla at all. Their attention was so consumed by counting the basketball passes, they never even noticed the gorilla. In another Harvard experiment, two other researchers recorded a video of two people engaged in a pre-written conversation. The conversation in the video was intentionally scripted so that both of the speakers contributed equally in terms of the amount of verbal input each person had, the gestures they used, and their influence on the discussion. Before watching the video, participants were randomly assigned to focus their attention on one of the two people in the conversation. Either they were to focus on person A or person B. After watching the video, the participants completed a questionnaire. They were asked their assessment as to which speaker was more influential regarding the content, flow, and outcome of the conversation. Participants consistently rated the speaker they were instructed to focus on, either speaker A or speaker B, as being more causal and more influential in the conversation, despite both speakers having contributed equally. Participants also failed to notice the non-focused speaker's contributions. This confirmed that it was the viewer's attention and not the speaker's action that was causing this attentional blindness. Another experiment was conducted in the 1950s by an English scientist. The participants in the experiment put on headphones. In each ear of the headphones, two different spoken messages were playing simultaneously. It was called dichotic listening. The participant was asked to focus on the message coming in one ear and repeat that message, while at the same time ignoring the other message in the other ear. This experiment demonstrated that people were able to give selective attention. While able to recall the message they were focusing on, they had almost zero awareness of the message they were not paying attention to in the same headphones. This is known colloquially as the cocktail party effect. The term captures the countless scenarios where humans navigate complex auditory environments effectively. You can imagine yourself walking into a cocktail party filled with people. You hear clinking glasses, footsteps, laughter, background music, the din of a multitude of conversations going on all around you. Yet you still have the ability to communicate in a one-on-one conversation with another person at that party. Why? Because your mind is capable of filtering out all of that distraction and choosing to focus on that one conversation. The reason for mentioning these experiments is that they demonstrate the connection between attention and perception. What we focus on largely determines how we think. Every negative emotion that a human experiences is preceded by a negative thought. The inverse is also true. Every happy feeling a human experiences is preceded by a happy thought. And you can use that limitation of the human mind, if you wish to call it that, to your advantage. How? By replacing negative thoughts, upsets from the past, and worries about the future with positive thoughts about the present. Just for today, you have permission to crowd out unpleasant thoughts with positive ones. You can imagine your mind as a bookshelf. The bookshelf only has a limited amount of space. If the bookshelf is full of books about joy, peace, gratitude, appreciation, curiosity, love for, and interest in others, there is no room for the book on fear, sadness, anger, regret, or anxiety. Your mind is so powerful that by dwelling on negative thoughts, you can actually bring them into existence. That is why skiers are told not to look at the trees, why golfers are told not to look at the water or the sand trap. Only look at the goal. Only think about where you want to go. Expect the best. Never think of the worst. Cast it from your mind. Leave no room in your mind for any thought that the worst will happen. That supercomputer that dwells within you is extremely powerful. The more you focus on the worst-case scenario, the more you focus on the negative, the more your nervous system will believe it's real. The more your mind will believe it's real, and the more likely you will act in a way that brings that circumstance into existence. The human mind cannot fully discern the difference between imagination and memory. The human mind can process a lie or any type of fiction the same as it processes truth. That is why dreams feel real when they are happening. It is the reason that a human can laugh, cry, or feel emotions about a story, a movie, or a character that they know is fictional. If you can visualize failure and defeat, you can visualize success. Whatever you take into your mind, whatever you focus your mind on will grow and expand. So take in only the best. Visualize success at all times. Just as you can bring about negative consequences by dwelling on negative thoughts, you can bring about positive developments by dwelling on positive thoughts. If perhaps you are questioning the reality of what I am saying, I would submit as evidence what doctors call the placebo effect. In medicine, a randomized placebo-controlled clinical trial is considered the gold standard for determining a medication's effectiveness. In such a trial, participants are randomly assigned to receive either the experimental treatment or an inactive placebo. The placebo appears identical to the actual medication but contains no active ingredients. In such trials, a large percentage of the participants who receive the placebo will consistently report improvement in their health, even though the medication they took wasn't real. The entire science of modern medicine is built on the fact that humans can mentally convince themselves to feel better. Perhaps you realize that your eyelids are growing heavier. Maybe they are already closed. There is nothing you need to do right now. There is nowhere you need to go except deeper inside your mind. Think of that soft, warm blanket as the stars appear one by one above the trees. Just like a rocking chair, your mind can drift back and forth naturally and peacefully. You will be happiest living in the present, right now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. Each day has its own challenges, but trying to carry more than one day's weight at the same time is too much of a mental load. After you have done everything you reasonably can to prepare, let tomorrow take care of itself. You will deal with tomorrow when tomorrow comes. Solutions will arise that you never anticipated. New versions of yourself will stand up to contend with whatever circumstances might come about. So will you relax now, or in a few moments? Either is fine. At any moment, feel free to let the soft, warm glow of relaxation spread. Let it flow out of your mind, down your body, as you drift effortlessly.